Hello, everyone. Good morning for you. Uh, Taking leverage on the breakfast moment. I'm here with my coffee because I totally love it. Um, I confess to you that the theme I brought today, I'm not so integrated with it, but I know the importance of it on your spiritual process of growth. So there will be some reading today, okay? Because I need to remember to go through all the topics that I've combined to talk about this subject. Uh, I'm getting okay. And the thing is, sometimes when we try to grow, and because we were rooted in some bases that were there since our childhood, we get stuck in some feelings, in some core beliefs that are getting in our way on our way to success. And because sometimes we were taught of those things since we were kids, we still kind of value them. And they are not like allowing us to grow. I have been there myself. Considering life as it is nowadays, I understand that many people is under the same situation. That is totally normal. But the good part is the fact that we can realize this and the fact that we can understand that this process works against us can make us look inside of it deeply to the core meaning of it and understand that if a behavior before used to work for us as a protection, now it will actually be comprehended to not be working in that same meaning anymore. So we can changing what we were realizing as a protective to understand that now it's just getting in our way and try to remove it. But this is very important because when I say let's try to remove it, it's not so easy. It's not just because you're starting today that by tomorrow you will have finished. Oh my God, this can take years from you. And believe me, I'm my own personal example about this because I do know that some things have already been in my way. And I know them, I know how they have been working, but I still didn't get to break them. But I have been working on tools to break them. Now, as I told you, because I'm not so tuned with the details of this topic, there will be some reading, okay? So, sometimes when we're trying to grow, we're going to somewhere so different and also so different from what our family taught us that would be good for us that we cannot break some pattern behaviors. And this is us sabotaging sometimes our dreams, our careers, our love relationships, because for some reason you had a belief that that experience is not for you. Just as an example, I was always taught by my parents that our family is not good for selling. So I was always scared in working with selling. But actually, it was just a matter of being trained because once I trained and I started working and practicing, and I started watching other people that were good on it, it kept growing naturally into me until the point that I know techniques now to sell anything at all. And I thought that would be an advantage for myself for when I would be selling whatever it was for myself, whatever it was, a course, a workshop, or a whole spiritual university idea, or shamanic rituals. I'm good in kind of selling ideas now, even more the ones that I love because I'm tuned to them. I identified with them. So I know now what are the mindful paths, the thinking process that a client and a seller goes through in order to accomplish a sale. And I actually made a lot of money with that in my experience, and many things that I have lived were because of that. So I do have to thank for my inner experience of going against the fear that was planted in me when I was a kid to live this experience of making it part of my life, professional experience to get me so many things that I have. Ah, sorry. And this is just a small, teeny tiny example, but this can change our lives. So, um, the topics we're going to cover is understanding the root causes of self-sabotaging, identifying some self-sabotage behaviors, some practical steps to break the cycle, and building self-awareness and self-compassion to help you overcome those barriers that you allowed to be built upon yourself. Okay, so first, root causes: fear of failure. Some people have so much fear of failure that they won't even start a project, because if for some reason that project becomes a success, and if for some other reason that gets undermined, the person has feel like she or him has no strength to overcome the fact that they have reached the success and then it diminished. And just the fear, just the idea in itself is so strong for this person that she won't even try to start a project. Now, look at the contradiction in this. So, because you don't want to run the risk of failure, you have already decided to fail by not starting. So, to not fail, you declared yourself to fail. You see how that's contradictory? And the thing is, what inside of yourself is trying to be a perfect human? Why are you reaching for perfectness? First of all, have you ever heard that idea that to grow into success, you're gonna have to accept many failures? And the idea is not that you are not able to fail. You can fail, but you cannot give up. Even if you fail, you try that again and fail again, try again. It's just a matter of not giving it up. And the fact that you decided to live a parallel life that doesn't even touch your dream in order to not let your dream fail, honey, wake up with me in here. You decided already to fail. Are you gonna want to be the reflection of that into the world? I mean, I know you're brave, and I know you can be very encouraged to something when you feel like this is a good idea for you. So why is it that when the world sells you an idea, you can totally make it shine before your eyes and your mind, but when this is your idea, you cannot make it shine uh, bigger, shine brighter? So first, fear of failure. Do you have that? Do you have some pride thing going on inside of you that won't allow you to try because you cannot face the possibility of failing once? Let me tell you something. I can speak six languages. Well, actually, I'm learning the fifth and the sixth. And at each time that I go through those learning processes, what I have best known and understood is that I love being corrected. When I am being corrected, I am being given the chance to give a second try. And this is amazing. because we are humans. We were born with the capacity of making mistakes. This is given to us. And okay, let's take a leverage on this. Can I make mistakes just because my nature is human? Yes, you make mistakes just because your nature is human. So that means I don't have to be perfect? Yes, that means you don't have to be perfect. And that means you can fail as many times as you want, and you yourself can search for the correction, which is actually even bigger than just reaching the success, because this process, this journey process of making mistakes and looking for the correction, is what actually will make you grow, even spiritually, okay? So allow yourself failures, also fear of success, okay? So maybe when you were a kid, they made you feel like you were very teeny tiny and that you were like very incapable of doing things. And maybe you were the youngest brother of all, and the bigger brothers were trying to make you feel like you didn't have power against them. And they helped raising you with this idea that you are super small. The good thing is you are super small. The other good thing is you are not alone, honey. So, yes, you can be super small, but you are going to have your participation into the world. And even though you're teeny tiny and you're not even the tip of my nail close to the amount of capacity compared to Earth, but the experience on Earth is not meant to be lived alone. Everything that you will do, you will need others. Even to purchase something in the market, you already need the other person to put the product in there, the logistical companies to bring the products, the industry to create the products and make them happening. We are not meant to build things on our own. We are meant to ask for help, and in gathering help from the people who has the same idea as you do, you will get to grow an even bigger version of the idea you had, because you will sum your ideas with other people's ideas, and you will have more physical strength to face the construction of that idea, because you will not only have your arms and your physical capacity, you will be joining others with the same power. So if they made you feel like you're not big enough, don't worry, you're not big enough, but you're not supposed to work yourself alone. Sometimes you are, okay? I know that there has been some people who hadn't faced that fear of being like small, and they did a lot of things by themselves, but they actually used opportunities to work with others to build themselves to be very great. And it doesn't matter how many great people are. We are all just one teeny tiny little thing that if we don't sum our powers with other people's powers, we're going to remain teeny tiny. But that's not something to stop you. The fact that you are just one person with just one idea and just one mind processing, it is not a problem in the direction of building your dreams, because you can always count on some other forces, on life bringing opportunities for you. You can always count of people that can embrace your ideas and feel like your idea is the best, and they can help you to grow. So if you have like this low idea of yourself, that is not a problem. You just need to understand that it doesn't have to stop you, okay? And we will talk about building your self esteem as well. Something else that can put us away from building our dreams, some things that can be a root cause for self sabotaging. So, comfort zones. Sometimes people fear changes and they like the way that they're living now. Because they like the way that they're living now, even when the idea goes in the direction of success, the person doesn't want to go in that direction because it will bring new responsibilities, it will bring new things to do. You will need to find yourself to behave in new ways. You will need to, oh, there is so much change involved in being in the comfort zone to reaching a success level. So the change, the inner change you need to face to get out from comfort zone to a successful life, there is so much work in that the person just gets stuck in the beginning and says to herself, oh, I'm not gonna go through all that trouble just for that. And let me remind you this, sometimes this can be a lot of trouble, but do you really think that for making your dreams come true, the work isn't enough? The work isn't worth? So you really think that the life that you know that you live and everything the way you expect it to be, do you really think that this is better and bigger and most fulfilling than realizing your dreams and making your dreams come true? And also negative past experiences, okay? Maybe in your life for some reason you tried to do something and that didn't work for you, and you kept that idea that you cannot do things, you are not meant for success, you can only live what is known to be tested and truthful, and that will prevent you from being a pioneer in your own ideas. So if you had a negative past experience, I know that this can be traumatizing, believe me, I've been there. But life is not meant to give you only one type of experience. So if you had a bad past experience, it doesn't mean that all of them are are meant to be bad for you, okay? No. We will identify the behaviors that goes along with our self-sabotaging behaviors. Procrastination. Okay, so you have the idea, you want to write that book, but then you go like with, oh, but before sitting down to write the book, I need to clean the house. Oh, but before sitting down to write that book, I need to do some governmental paper having taken care of. Before going to the direction of my dreams, I need to look for schools for my kids. Before going in the direction of my dreams, I know that my husband is needing something, so I will look for something for him. Before going to the direction of my dreams, I know that I want my daughter to be raised so she will be more independent of myself. Every one of those ideas is you procrastinating your dreams to come to fruition because you are fearing it for somehow. So you are, shh, get up, shh, get out, cat. So you will be finding many ideas and projects to do before sitting down to write that book. That is one of your dreams, to have that book published. Also perfectionism, so you started writing the book and then you got already like 30 pages, but then you go like, oh, this sentence, it needs to be like this, and this word with that word, it just cannot be like this because the sense of this sentence with this word in here makes it a little na, na, na. Okay, let me tell you something. In programming, in software programming, they give us an idea that it's like this. If you've done part of the work, deliver it. And if you've done a second part, deliver it again. If you find minor mistakes on it, correct it and then deliver it again. Every teeny tiny step that you accomplish of programming a software, you start delivering. Even if you have to correct it later, start delivering. Put yourself out there. Allow yourself to be tested by others and to be evaluated by others, because when you put your stuff out there to the world so the world can see how this goes, it's an opportunity that you have to get the feedback from people. And this perfectionism that you're trying to reach is probably just another behavior that you are having in order to procrastinate more and take a longer time to deliver your project. I'm sorry to say there is no perfectionism and there is no such thing as humankind building perfect things, because we are allowed to mistakes. And there are so many books with grammatical mistakes on it that I have already read, and none of those grammatical mistakes stopped me from understanding the value of the message contained in those books. So remember this, perfectionism is also one of the behaviors that will make you take a longer time to make your dreams come true. So, what you can do about perfectionism is understanding that you are human and you can make mistakes and you can make some things sometimes not be so accurate, not so assertive, and yet the idea is there. And people who are prepared to get the idea from your book will be able to reflect upon the ideas you gave, even if there is a minor difference in the words, in the conjunction of words that can, for some people, make the sense of the sentence seems a little different. Believe me, the people who are meant to get your idea, they will get your idea, okay? Negative self-talk. Oh my god. Are you doing this to yourself? I'm sorry, but you are yourself undermining your success. When you talk negatively about yourself, you are diminishing yourself for you. When you are like, oh my God, Danny, how could you do this to yourself? You are so and you so much this. You are saying to yourself that you agree with every one of those people who kind of cursed you, who kind of swore against you. You are agreeing with them and you are saying to yourself, yes, maybe just I'm just that teeny tiny. I am not that good. Hey, you are a force. You are a force in built. You are a force being built to share something that only you have to share with the world. Do you really want to make you seem like less than other people? So you are telling me that there are so many people out there with so many bad ideas and they're putting those ideas out there in the world, and there are a whole bunch of people agreeing with them, and you can read their ideas and you can tell, but that idea is shitty to me. I don't agree to that. And yet that person can make success, but you can't with your good ideas? Really? So you are authorizing other people less competent than you grow bigger because you only will allow yourself to be the perfect person into the world? I'm sorry, honey, that's pride on your head talking. And that is also perfectionism. And that is also trying to be the figure of the hero. I'm sorry, allow yourself to be human first. Only by allowing yourself to be human first is that you can find what's best in you to share with human society. You don't need to please the gods. You need to just please other people that agrees with your ideas, and in making your ideas be connected to other people's ideas and finding the people who agree with your ideas will just make you find your community and the people that will help your ideas to grow into the dreams that you are searching for, okay? Overcommitting is another behavior that can keep us away from our dreams. So you have a dream, you want to publish that book, you want to deliver that web page, you want to whatever it is that you want, but then you keep making it like you make a commitment to a relative, you make another commitment to your work environment, you make another commitment to your kid, you put a travel before your plan. So you are overcommitting to many ideas that will make your focus go away from your dreams. A, pull you back to yourself. Come back to yourself. Why are you putting so many other things in front of the objective of your dreams? I mean, I know that your dreams can be really big, as mine are, but have you ever stopped to considering breaking it into smaller tasks to accomplish parts of it at each time? That can really help you, because if you don't think that your dream is this very big thing, very much impossible to reach just by yourself, and give up on that idea and just open it into teeny tiny ideas that can be accompanied by tasks. And if you combine this, that that big idea can be brought to smaller ideas with smaller tasks that one by one you by yourself get to accomplish, then you will know that you're not so far away from your dreams. You can just be in the first steps of the journey, but it doesn't mean you didn't accomplish and didn't finish that path. It just means you need to go step by step, as when you start a walking. When you start walking and you want to, I don't know, you are leaving from your house and you want to go from your house to the city park and it takes like 15 minutes, you just need to give a step at a time. And after 15 minutes, you will have gotten to arrive to the park. But you gave the first step. The only thing is that if you don't give the first step, you will not go to that place. So if you find, okay, but Danny, it feels to me like the city park is like 4 days walking. Yeah, I understand. So remember to walk just parts of the day and rest. Walk something more and rest again. Walk something more and rest again. You are allowed to do that. You don't have to build your dream from the minute one, from the minute zero in the day, and finish it by the minute 11:59 for the next day. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day. You can build it through time. That's why time is given to us. So if you are overcommitting, you are probably scared of your dreams. Also, substance abuse, okay? Because substances, they can distract our mind. They can, how can I call it? Let me go for my translator in here just a bit, please. Okay, I'm sorry, I just forgot, but that's okay. So I was saying, yes, substance abuse. The substance abuse, they can diverge our minds from our main focus. And it can, what is that word again? Anesthesia, anesthetize. Okay. So when you make a lot of abuse, or when you make a lot of use of substances, they can anesthetize your pain. And in anesthetize your pain, they will also make you feel like you no longer need to change, because now you're no longer feeling that pain that was causing you to want to change. So when you're making a lot of abuse in substances, it's very likely that your mind may lose some focus. So when you're trying to compensate your pain by drinking a lot or by smoking a lot, you are not allowing that pain to give you the message that it has to give to you. That something about what you are living now is not satisfactory to you. And the fact that you are no longer feeling like unsatisfactory will make you get into the comfort zone. So you will start accepting and tolerating what you're living now, because you're feeling anesthetized. Okay, so be careful about that, because that can keep you away from your dreams. Now, some practical steps to break the cycle. How much time do I still have? Yeah, I no longer have that much time, but I think I'm going to pass today because this subject is really important, okay, for our spiritual growth. So, to break the cycle, first, make a very good reflection. What are you doing that is on your way? Are you keeping away too much time stuck in teeny tiny details? Are you like trying to stay in a comfort zone that can keep you in the very old same things that you have always been living? Are you allowing yourself to get distracted from your own ideas? So take a moment with yourself to try to find the roadmap of those sabotaging behaviors. And once you have that map, you will see what's on your way and you will be able to talk to your inner fears. Bring yourself to self realistic goals. So, okay, you want to build this idea of a spiritual university. Okay, that does seem a little hard. What would you have to do? I would need to find the ground. I would need to understand what would be the things that would have to be there to make it necessary to become a spiritual or university studies. You would have to find the people interested in that. So, okay, when you take a very big dream and put it under smaller concepts, and with those smaller concepts you start understanding that you just need to apply practical things, you are starting to set realistical tasks, smaller tasks that summed will make an even bigger dream come true. um, Develop self-positive talk. What I in this part, what I want you to do to yourself is like this. I want you to go to your imaginary and I want you to build two versions of yourself, okay? You grown up now. I want you thinking of yourself grown up now. And in front of yourself grown up, I want you to put yourself in front of you as when you were a kid. Now, you're going to take yourself as a kid in your hands in your imaginary world and you will say to that kid, "Hey, kid, kid inside of me, the kid that I was when I was a kid. Kid, I know that so many things were taught for us so incorrectly, and this is so difficult to break. And I need some very big inner strength to correct those incorrect ideas. And I will need you to help me throughout this because I know that your inner strength is highly strong. And I know that inside of you, there is no fear. And I want you to take that kid in your hands and I want you to tell her, I'm going to help you correct all the ideas. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to help you correct all the ideas that were incorrect. You are not teeny tiny. You are a power. You are a potentiality. You can make so many big things come to reality. I want you to correct with that inner kid inside of you all the ideas that the grown-ups in your past. I'm sorry, my makeup will be dirty. I want you to go to that kid and tell her that inside of you, you need her strength to help correcting all those ideas. And you are going to discuss with that kid inside of you about everything that is wrong about those ideas and take this conversation for real. Going to that kid. Oh my God, so much makeup. Okay. I'm sorry if my makeup got a little blurred. But then you're gonna take that kid in her hands and you're gonna tell to your inner kid, let's have this huge conversation in which I will explain you everything why those ideas are incorrect. You are not teeny tiny, you are a force. You are this infinite force contained on a body, but you're not the body. You are the inner force inside of that body, and that has unlimited power. And start talking to that kid inside of yourself and help her correcting all the wrong ideas that were put there in front of her, okay? Have this really long talk with that kid inside of yourself and remember to hug that kid and remember to tell her that she's not incorrect for behaving the way she did. She was a kid, for Christ's sake. She had the right to commit all the mistakes. The problem is not the kid and her mistakes. The problem is that the grown ups weren't comprehensive enough to understand that kids are allowed to make mistakes. You know what I mean? So when you go talk to that kid, you hug her. You tell her that there are no problems in making mistakes. You tell her that she's fully loved And that if she didn't feel the love from her family, there will be so many people throughout the world that will agree with her ideas, that she will find love in so many places, in so many different ways. So I really want you to be very supportive. Oh my God, I need a tissue now. I want you to be supportive with that kid inside of you, and I want you to tell her to combine herself inside of you, because the dreamer is the kid. So if you're not allowing yourself to dream, it means you were separated from your essence. And I want you to search your essence into your kid's world. So remember of yourself when you was a little kid, and how dreamy you were, and how nobody could make you stop from your ideas, because well, they just didn't get to put the brakes on you, and you were very unstoppable, and that is a good thing. Okay, so yeah, go have a chat to that kid and ask for her support, and also tell her you will be there for her, and from this point on she will be very loved. Okay, when we go through our own experience, sometimes we react, right? Also seek for support, because yes, maybe your idea is really a way too big. And I do have this idea of building my own spiritual university. Oh my God, I feel so pioneer into that, because this in my country is so hard to feel like it's an idea to be able to grow. So, what I will do is I will look for people that feel like this is a good idea. Probably were the readers from James Redfield's book, the Celestine Prophecy, and they probably have already seen the value of having a centralized place to be able to grow spiritual studies. That is amazing. So I will probably find people with those same ideas, and the people who like that idea would like those ideas to come true, but they probably don't want to go through the practical steps that they need to go through to make this happen. So they will want a person with my energy, with a lot of gen energy into making the practical steps of it grow to make it come true. So in bringing people that will agree with that idea and will send whatever it is, the sort of help that they can send to make that idea come to fruition, well, I probably can combine a lot of people to make that big idea and that bigger dream come true. So yes, ask for support, and not only that type of support, but if you're not getting to grow inside of yourself uniquely by you, the idea that you can go search for a therapist. Okay, they are so good in making you remember your inner value, that the fact that you are not in a therapy from in what you are today until the 3 years from now, when you have already started and already did 3 years of therapy, and that 3 years later version of you is so self-confident that many of those bad ideas will fall apart, because you will see that it was just a wrong impression that you had of yourself. Okay, and also this is very important: practice mindfulness, and meditating leads to that. But if you're not very used to meditate, let's try to go to mindfulness straight ahead. So I would teach you the idea that I use to reach mindfulness. It's like this: you are not in yourself alone. You are connected to a whole world. And in being connected to a whole world, what does that mean? You you don't stop in this body. And why do I know that? I know that you don't stop in this body because your body is not a unique thing. In order for you to live, you need to breathe. And in order for you to breathe, you need the atmosphere that is outside of your body. So, are you telling me that to be able to live, you need something that is outside of your body? So, if there wasn't this atmosphere, you wouldn't be able to live? Yes, that is true. What does that mean? You are connected to this world by breathing. So, what I want you to grow in your mind to get into the state of mindfulness is just like this: Start breathing. And while you're breathing, feel like while you are inhaling, feel like you're pulling for inside of yourself, you are pulling energy from the earth and from the atmosphere. And that breath and that energy that is coming inside of your breathing is connected to a lot of other people's breathings, and it is connected to all the trees that helps producing oxygen, and it is connected to all the cars that pollute this, and it is also connected to everything else surrounding the whole world that also needs to breathe. So you are connected to trees, you are connected to animals, you are connected to nature, you are connected to a whole sky, you are connected to the whole nature cycles. So if you are connected with all of that, you are all of that, because in order for you to be able to live, you need the full process of all the bees and the ants going on as they do, so the earth can be a place in which we get to live. So you are already connected to everything. You are already spread out there. Even the ideas that you have ever put on Facebook, they are out there in the world. So you are out there in the world, because maybe you don't know, but an idea that you gave to a friend, that friend saw so much value in that idea that that friend spreaded that idea to another friend, that spreaded to another friend, that went to another person, that went to someone else, that went to someone else and somewhere else. And you don't know, but you are already out there in so many ways that you cannot even think to yourself how spread it in the world you already are. Okay, so in practicing that mindfulness and understanding that you are connected to so much more than what you could realize with yourself, you will understand that you are this much bigger life worth than what you were realizing with yourself. So the mindfulness state helps you to overcome some of those behaviors that are getting in the way of your success. Okay, also self-compassion. Self-compassion is basically understanding that you are allowed to make mistakes, and don't punish yourself for making mistakes. Understand that this is you growing, and it is good to grow, because if you made a mistake and someone corrected you, and if you understood that correction, now you can do that same thing, but from an assertive perspective, an assertive point of view. And because of that, you should really like thank the person who corrected you. Okay, that will really help your growth. um Educate yourself. Learn about the psychological and emotional factors that contribute to that self sabotage. Understanding the underlying causes of this can demystify your behaviors and make them easier to address. So, look at the thing that is scaring you and break it into smaller things. And when you break that into smaller things, you will understand, oh, if I have that behavior, if I only do this, I will be already starting to correct that bad behavior. And just go little by little. And you will understand. If you want, keep a note of all these things on a journal, because once you map all the behaviors that are getting into your way, and once you reflect to yourself how would be the best behavior to overcome that, and if you have a journal, you can, from a future perspective, look to the past perspective, and from the future perspective, you will see, oh, that I have already corrected. That I have already corrected. That I have corrected as well. Oh, that means I have already corrected a lot of my bad behaviors. That means I'm growing. And allowing yourself to understand that you have already grown something will make you realize that you are this potentiality in growth. And if you have grown this far, you can accomplish so much more. And when you realize that, you will understand with yourself that you can conquer so much. And okay, in that, I want you to re educate yourself and keep a journal so you can understand how much you are growing at each step of a time, each step at a time. And every month, you get back to that journal and you allow yourself to celebrate each growth that you got to accomplish, okay? Forgiving yourself. Maybe you did a mistake in the past that felt for you like a very huge failure. But in that version of you, you were just a kid and you were just trying. And that is good. The fact that you tried, congratulations. Some people don't even try. They are so scared that they don't even try. So, congratulations because you already had a first failure. Congratulations. I want to applaud you for that. You got the courage and you went with it and you saw that there was an obstacle, but just see that failure as that it's just an obstacle, because it's no more than that. Life can bring you so many other opportunities to help your dreams come to fruition, okay? And remember to set some boundaries. And when I talk to you about this, this is very huge and big and meaningful, okay? Now, let's suppose you are with yourself thinking about your dreams, but then a relative came to you saying, "Hey, Danny, I really need you to do this for me because I'm having this trouble in my life with my husband or with my work, and I'm having so much trouble with this, and I'm feeling so sad, and I want to talk to someone." And then you say yes to that person, and then that person just consumed around 15 hours from 3 days of you. So you allowed that person to get 15 hours of attention from you just because she was feeling scared and wanted some help. And because of you wanted to help her, and because you wanted to make her feel like you wouldn't leave her alone, you authorized that person to consume 15 hours from your working days. And you could be writing your books. Okay, I'm sorry if you're hearing the vacuum from my neighbor. She chose this time to do that, and I'm sorry about this noise, okay? And yes, set some boundaries. Or maybe, for example, you are really close to your mom and you have this very weird dream that maybe for your family is something uh, completely out of all the ideas that your family has on what is good for you. And you're going to tell that your mother that idea, and she will go like, "Oh, but that's not good for you. Oh, I think if you try this, you will be making a mistake. You will uh, dispense so much life energy and it will come out wrong." Hey, don't fall for that subject, okay? Only you know the roadmap for your dreams. Only you have the roadmap to your happiness. And the fact that your mother don't agree to those ideas, don't make her be right. Just make her a little bit limited, because she's not with her mind open enough to see that so many ideas can grow into success. This would be like asking the that Brazilian artist, what is his name again? Romero Brito. Okay, let's talk about him. Maybe he had this thing for being an artist, and maybe his father was there in his mind saying, "Oh, but if you become an artist, you won't have money. If you become an artist, you won't have this and that. And if you become an artist, you will be poor." Oh my god. Can you imagine if Romero Brito listened to his father? I'm sorry, Romero Brito, if you ever hear this. I don't know how your parents were. I'm just mentioning an example, hypothetical example, okay? Maybe your parents were super supportive. I don't know anything about that. I'm just giving a practical, hypothetical example. So, can you imagine if Romero Brito thought that If he were to become an artist, he would be a poor person, and because of that, he would give up on all of his art, and he wouldn't become the Romero Brito that he is today. Okay, this is the version of his name in English, because this the version of his name is Portuguese is Romero Brito. But okay, let's go with the American accent because it's more receptive receptible. So, yes, sometimes people will plant you the idea that something that you dream of doing will make you poor, but so many people that are so rich today, they wouldn't be as rich as they are today if they kept hearing ideas like those. So, I really want you to set some boundaries with yourself, because you will have so many ideas that others won't agree with you. I have this dream of becoming an itinerant, someone who lives in a bus and can be each day in a different geographical place in my country because I love my country. And I have this friend, and she's super searching for stability and secure and the same old same. And she's like, "Oh, but this can be dangerous for you. And what if your daughter doesn't make any friendships? She will be so sad to you." And I have been following so many families that got to live this dream and living on a bus, and their kid is there with them, and they're having different but happy lives. And what they are living is such a rich, enriching experience that sometimes I look at my friend and I just look at her and I just go, "Friend, I'm sorry, but you are being super limited because there are so many people already living that life and they are so happy. And their kids, they are so full of experience that they are so ahead of their age. They are so understanding a lot more of the world than the other kids on that age because they dared to live a different dream. So set some boundaries. Don't let others rule your dreams with their idea. It's your dream. It should be your evaluation to tell you what really feels correct or incorrect for you. And in that, remember to follow your heart, because your heart has the thermometer. Your heart can tell you when you are going to the wrong or the right direction, okay? So remember that. I know we have passed some of our time by now. Yes, we really passed it. So I really want to thank you for being in here with me today. I hope this can bring you some reflection to help you go through these processes because I know how hard they can be. Thank you, Love and Moon Boutique, for creating this environment that is free into spiritual knowledge, and this can bring so much hope and faith and so much healing into other people's hearts. So, I really want to thank all the spirituality that combines so many people's ideas to make this space here uh, become a reality. And I want to also thank it for being virtual, because the fact that this is a virtual environment, I know how this can reach so many people throughout the world. So thank you so much, all the forces. And if you are liking the content, remember to give us your likes, share the content with the people you know that can love the content as well. And remember to subscribe to the channel so you can receive every time we're going to bring up a new subject in a live. And go to the page of loveandmoonboutique.com so you can see how many things they have to provide for you, things that will allow you to combine this spiritual journey to be reflected in your house. And also, you will find the text for support service. So, when you have so many doubts, you can look for someone 24/7 to help you with those doubts. And if you want to become a membership, there is so much value we will find on it, including deep and enhanced spiritual knowledge. Okay, so remember to give it a try. And thanks again for being in here with me. Please give us your opinion on the comments. We will love to chat together with you on whatever are the ideas you have. And also, I know that I can learn from you as well. So maybe I'm giving an idea, and it's not so assertive, and you can make your comments, and in that I can correct so many of my perceptions. So please bring by all your ideas on the comments, and we will discuss everything together, okay? Thank you so much for being in here with me so far. Kisses in your heart. Feel very blessed. And I hope you get to find very briefly all your spiritual guides so they can help you throughout this grow, okay? Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day and a blissful weekend ahead of you. Bye bye.